Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds.
Chris, did you ever play past the junior varsity level of basketball?
Well, I got asked to leave the varsity team. So, yes, I did play varsity basketball, but I got asked to leave.
And why did you get asked to leave?
Creative differences with the coach.
And what kind of creative differences?
He thought that I was probably a little bit better at football, and they were like, we don't want to risk you getting hurt and taking your time, so we need to get you out to run track and play football. So they said it's probably the best thing for you.
DC ain't even make JVT. I love it.
I 100% did, and I was asked to leave. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there that know why and that can stay. It's not something we need to dig up.
It was fighting was involved, if I'm not mistaken, correct? You beat somebody. Basically, you bullied somebody.
I was a lover, not a fighter, and I have the daughter to prove it, you know. So
Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big B Daily. This is your man, Brian Hanley. We are live. We appreciate you guys showing up this morning like you always do, no matter what platform you're on. Thank you guys for being here, man. A lot of going on in the sports world over this weekend. Shaq and this Uncle Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp beef, just stupid. It's just stupid. We're going to break all that down. Then the Atlanta Hawks win the lottery out of nowhere. I mean, they were in the play-in for crying out loud, and they end up winning the lottery. The Detroit Pistons, oh my God, fifth. They get the fifth pick. So we'll break that down, and then playoffs. Look, the Nuggets and the Pacers, I think, have taken control of both of their respective series. Taking control. I love it. Everybody said that the Nuggets were done. I have no idea why they thought that. The defending champs, they weren't going to win a game? Now they've got control going back home. And all that and more today on Big B Daily. We appreciate you guys. Look, no matter what platform you're watching, where it's one where you got to tap the screen, please do. Make sure that you like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate everybody being here. Let's get in the show. As a reminder, remember, if you like what we're doing and you want to show your appreciation, you want to support the show, remember there's a plethora of ways that you can do that. All you got to do, click on the link in the bio, whether it's a super chat, a gift, like, all that good stuff. But remember, more importantly, remember to follow, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, man. So let's get into this. So first thing is, Lord have mercy. Shannon Sharp and Shaq beef is just silly. It's just silly. You know, I'm trying my best to be an objective observer. Now, look, let me start this off by saying I like both Shaq and Shannon Sharp. I like them both. I think they're both outstanding at what they did. They're outstanding at what they do. I like both of them. But Lord, thank you, Julius, for the gift. We appreciate it. But for them to be going back and forth with some crazy beef, number one, the beef, I blame Shaq. And yeah, you can blame Shaq. Look, Shannon didn't say anything about Shaq that Shaq hasn't said about himself. I mean, when Kobe came out and said, yeah, if Shaq had my work ethic, we have 6 or 7 titles. Nobody debated it. Nobody thought that he was wrong. Shaq agreed. And there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There was nothing that was said to the contrary because everybody knew that Kobe was right. So fast forward to last week, Shannon Sharp says the exact same thing. Hey, if Shaq would have had his and Shannon Sharp's work ethic, he would be listed in the GOAT conversation. He'd have 40,000 points. The only difference is Shannon doesn't play basketball. So now Shaq is in his feelings. Now, part of the reason that he's in his feelings is because he said that he was jealous. Well, Shaq is right, or Shannon is right. Shaq is jealous. We know how Shaq is. How many times are you going to disrespect somebody when they've won a game or they're winning an award? I mean, that's part of this problem, is that Shaq is mad because he has one MVP and these other guys that he probably thinks that he's better than has more MVPs than he does. And Shaq is jealous. Shannon said, hey, he's jealous of it. And he's right. He's not lying. He's not lying. You know, it's ridiculous. And so then, that's the part that stings the most, is that Shaq knows that Shannon Sharpe is right. And instead of him just saying, you know what, I could have worked harder, or just not say nothing and not even acknowledge it, he has to go personal, take a shot at his business, take a shot at how much money. I mean, what are we in the third grade? Hey, my daddy makes more money than your daddy. What the hell is going on here? And that's where Shaq went. I got more money than you. You're beneath me. What? First of all, Shaq acts like Shannon Sharpe was just some ordinary player in the NFL. He acts like, oh, he was just a guy. That's why everybody blew off what he said, because he's like, hold on a second. Shannon Sharpe was not just a guy. He revolutionized the tight end position. Okay? As good as Shaq was, he didn't revolutionize nothing. He wasn't the first dominant big man. So as much as we love Shaq, he didn't revolutionize anything. He was dominant, but Shannon Sharpe revolutionized a position that people still emulate today and are going to continue to emulate. That was what Shannon Sharpe did. So to try to disrespect that doesn't make any sense. To say that you make more money than him, well, first of all, Shaq, yeah, you're a superstar. You're a global icon. Okay? That's a great thing. Now you're going to rub that in somebody else's face because they told the truth about you, something that you've admitted to. And now you're upset about it. I mean, my whole thing is, Shaq, why did you have to say to Joker, I thought somebody else should have won the award? I just wanted to tell you to your face so you didn't hear it from anybody else. I thought SGA should have won it, but you're a great player and you're the MVP. Why do you have to say that? Why can't you just wait until the interview is over and say, look, I love Joker, but dag nabbit, I thought SGA should have won, but that doesn't take anything away from Joker. And that's the end of it. So, I don't know. And this is a great point by Darren Howard. We all knew how this would go. Shaq hasn't changed. You're right. It's just so mad, so bitter, so upset because this man told the truth. And now you want to take shots at him, acting like he wasn't a good player. And that's why nobody's paying attention to Shaq, because they're like, excuse me, Shannon Sharpe was just not some bum. You're acting like he was a bum. He's in the Hall of Fame for a reason. It wasn't because he was average. Oh, by the way, Shannon Sharpe got in the Hall of Fame in the NFL when you had to earn getting into the Hall of Fame, where they just didn't let these fly-by-night guys get in. Yeah, that wasn't Shannon Sharpe. That wasn't him. And he arguably the best tight end at his position, or best player at his position, which is tight end. He's in that conversation. So to act like he was a nobody is just stupid, and which is why nobody has paid attention to him. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And Shaq started it. He didn't have to disrespect Joker, and he disrespected Joker. I don't care if what he said. I just wanted you to hear this from me first. Yeah, you disrespected him. You could have done that anytime after the interview was over. That's what the debate shows are for. And not only that, him and Chuck did debate it. but you don't have to bring a guy on. Y'all remember when he did the same thing to Donovan Mitchell? It was a few years back when he said, Donovan Mitchell, I think you're a great player. I like you, but I don't think you're good enough to take a team to a championship. He said that to him in a live interview. Now, what is Donovan Mitchell supposed to say? He didn't say nothing. I heard you. Okay. Well, you don't have a reaction? Okay, that's what I wanted you to say. I did it on purpose. I mean, you didn't do nothing on purpose. You're just out here disrespecting people, Shaq. Shut up. Just shut up. Lord have mercy. I just don't get it. And then we got people over in the chat saying, oh, well, he's definitely not better than Travis Kelce. He doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be. First of all, you can't just say he's not better than Kelce because he's a better blocker than Travis Kelce could ever dream of being. That's number one. But if you want to say Kelce's better than him, okay. I have no problem with that. Matter of fact, I even voted when we had our top 5 tight ends of all time. I had Kelce ahead of him. But that's not what this is about. That's not what this is about. This is about him disrespecting the man for no reason. Because again, if nobody had ever said anything like this about Shaq, or if Shaq himself hadn't said it about himself, then I could say, you know what, Shannon, you're out of pocket. You're out of line. What are you doing? Why are you saying this about this man? But none of this is new. None of this is new. And there was no need for him to say that about Jokic to his face. What's Jokic supposed to say? You know what? And here's what I said, and I made a post about this. What if Jokic would have said this? Yeah, Shaq, fine. You think somebody else won it? That's fine. But guess what? I got 3 MVPs. You got 1. Deal with it. Then what? Then what would Shaq have said? Well, I've got 4 NBA titles. I got 3 finals MVP. He'd have started trying to read off his resume. So let me get this straight. You can disrespect me to my face. I'll respond, and now you got to try to clap back at me. Get out of here, Shaq. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And I'd have loved it if that's what Jokic did. Say, Shaq, you don't have to think I could win it, but the bottom line is I did. I got 3 MVPs. Deal with it. You got 1. And the one you got, I think somebody else should have won that. Now what? Get out of here, Shaq. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. Jiminy Christmas. Yes, my man. Then Shaq dropped a diss track. First of all, it was one of the worst ones that I've ever heard in my. Oh, you're Shannon Sharp. You're beneath me. What? Will you shut up? Shannon Sharp, you're beneath me. I am the king. Hey, man, be quiet, Shaq. Just sit down. Just sit down. You're a peewee. What the hell? Here we are in the middle of these crazy rap battles, but here's Shaq. The attention's not on him. So what does he do? I got to drop a diss track. Something some 5th grader could have done and done better than he did. I am the greatest. Shannon Sharp, you're beneath me. Man, shut up. That nonsense. Nobody wants to hear that from you. Oh, my goodness. It's crazy. It's crazy. But whatever. It is what it is. And the problem is that they take our attention away from other stuff. So I apologize. But we got to cover it. We got to talk about it. You didn't hear the diss track, Big Smooth. You don't need to hear it, man. You don't need to hear it. If I don't know if you got kids. If anybody who hasn't heard the diss track, I don't know if you've got kids. But if you do, and they're able to complete sentences, just have them start talking to you. That's how, if they're 5 years or younger, just have your kids start talking to you. That's what the diss track sounded like. That's what it sounded like. So you're not missing anything. You're not missing anything, man. Jiminy Christmas. And Shannon Sharp's not even mad. But I do like what Shannon said, though. He basically put an end to all of it. He said, I have never said that I was as good as Shaq. I have never said that Shaq wasn't a greater player than I was, that his reach and everything about him wasn't greater than me. He's never said that. He said he got everything out of his ability. But the one thing that nobody's ever said about Shannon Sharpe is that he was lazy. They've never said, oh, man, if he had given more effort, he could have got a lot more. Nobody ever said that about him. You notice how Shaq didn't address that, though, right? You notice how he didn't say anything about that. You don't know me. You don't know my work ethic. And, man, we saw your work ethic. We saw you 400 pounds on the court. We saw that. I love it. I love how Shannon just ended it all with that. I don't need to say anything else. The only thing that I know is nobody ever said that Shannon Sharpe was lazy and didn't get the best out of his ability. Nobody ever said that. There are millions of people that say that about Shaq. I'm one of them that said if Shaquille O'Neal applied himself and was in shape, he would be one of the greatest players the NBA has ever seen. He would be in that GOAT debate, but he isn't. He isn't. And he knows it. And as self-centered as Shaq is, I never wanted to be in the GOAT debate. Stop lying. Stop lying. You did too. But you can't be in it. So if you can't be in something, what do we do when we're self-conscious and we're hurt? We say we don't want to be in it because we can't be in it. So we deflect. Stop it, Shaq. Stop it. Let's move on, people. Let's move on. Hey, anybody out there, just as a reminder, again, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time. We appreciate everybody being in here, Big B Daily. If you are on a platform that literally just froze up, I was going to say click on the link, but I can't even tell you that. But bottom line is, click on the link if you don't want to get frozen up. The link is in the bio. The link is in the bio. I'm going to set it back up here, people, so give me a quick second to do that. Boom, boom, boom. Yes. So, yeah, we're going to move on here. We're all set up. Hey, just as a reminder, people over on this platform that just got frozen up, the platform's been doing that to me for about a month now. Continue. There's a link in the bio. Click on that link. Come on over, man. Come on over. So, click on that link and come on over. It's a live link, and you will not get frozen up on. Boom. Moving on. The Nuggets even up the series. Ooh. Remember all them people out there that said the Nuggets weren't gonna win a game, the series was over, that there was nothing that they could do. And I said, hold on. I go, I'm not saying they're gonna win a game. I go, but the series definitely isn't over. Give the Nuggets an opportunity. Give them a chance. And lo and behold, they got a chance. They blow the doors off of Minnesota on Friday. And then yesterday, they just came out and they did Nugget things. They made a bunch of shots early, gave the ball to their MVP, Shaq, in the fourth quarter. He dominated the fourth quarter. Game over. Going back to Denver, tied up 2-2. Tied up 2-2. I'm just, everybody, you heard, what was it? Everybody, Stephen A. Smith, Kendrick Perkins, everybody, this series is over. It's going to be a sweep. Hold on. Why? I mean, you don't think the Nuggets can put anything together? Now, I will admit this. Nuggets or Timberwolves coaching, especially in last night's game. And Friday night, they just got the doors blown off of them. But last night, horrible coaching. Horrible coaching. Denver, Mike Malone made adjustments. And Minnesota, I can't even think of the coach's name. I don't need to. I know he blew his knee out. No adjustments. Let me get this straight. Karl Anthony Towns, again, That was my question at the beginning of this series. If y'all remember, I said Karl Anthony Towns has to play like a man. Well, last night, the last 2 games, he has not played like a man. And then you got him and Rudy out there playing together, which Rudy did absolutely nothing. He did nothing on defense. He got bullied. You know he doesn't bring you anything offensively. Meanwhile, Naz Reid brought you, he was 3 of 4, was playing defense, 19 minutes. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. If that's what you're going to do, it's a problem. They're not going to win another game. So, they're not going to win another game. If they don't make an adjustment. I can say that firmly. If Minnesota doesn't make an adjustment, they're not winning another game. I'm telling you that right now. They got to find a way to get Naz Reid 30 minutes on the court. And if that means you got to sit down Rudy, then that means you got to sit down Rudy. If that means you got to sit down Karl Anthony Towns, then that means you got to sit down Karl Anthony Towns. But you can't have them out there playing together because neither one of them are playing any defense. And if Cat ain't scoring, then what's the point? What is the point? Got to get Naz Reid on the court. So, got to get him on the court. That's just my personal opinion. That's what happened in that game last night. Got to find a way to get Naz Reid on the court to do some damage for you. But yeah, the trick is up. It's time for Karl Anthony Towns. Let's start to play a little bit, son. Let's start to play. You know, at some point, they've got to be okay. At some point, they got to figure something out. At some point, they got to figure something out. So, it's crazy. We'll see, though. This adjustment has to be made. This adjustment has to be made. So, and here's the thing. Jamal Murray still hasn't done anything really in this series. Like, he hasn't just gone off for no 30-point games or anything. He hasn't done much. Is that game coming? I don't know. But I know Anthony Edwards can't have 40-plus points. And then your next guy, Karl Anthony Towns, he can't do what he did. I mean, 5 for 18 is not going to cut it. 13 points, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. This is the playoffs, man. Find a way. Figure it out. That's not going to cut it. 44 points, and then the next guy has 13 or 15 with Mike Conley. No, that's not going to cut it. And some of those, Mike Conley, those were late, insignificant points. So we'll figure it out. My man Pat Cockrell got something to say. Unfortunately, my Thunder looks like the lack of player experience is hitting them in this year. Yeah, we thought it would, man. We thought it would. We'll get to that, but yeah, we thought it would. Game 4 is tricky, though. They win Game 4, they're right back in control. They're right back in control. So, but we'll see what happens. So, Cat is making dumb fouls. Yes, he is. Just, I don't know. I'm not a big Karl Anthony Towns guy anyway. I don't think he's that good. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a great player, but when it comes to other great players, he's at the bottom of that spectrum for me. He's at the bottom of the spectrum of great players, in my opinion. In my opinion. So, it's crazy. It's just crazy. Nuggets have the momentum going back to Denver. Yeah. Yeah, Nuggets have the momentum. And look, I'll say this, because, again, I'm not a prisoner of the moment type of person. You all know me. But if Minnesota doesn't make these changes, they're not winning another game. They got to make some changes. Because what? I mean, Anthony Edwards had a career game. I mean, he scored 44 points. And was the game close? The game wasn't even close. You got nothing from anybody else. You need somebody else to come along with you. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Going back to Denver, if Denver wins Game 5, the series will be over in 6. I'm telling you right now. If Denver wins Game 5, this series will be over in 6. Because as much as we like Minnesota, it's still a young team. They're still unproven. They haven't been through the playoff rigors. And that'll be the end of it. They're starting to get their chops right now. Starting to get them right now. Now, the other series that looks like it could be over, look at the Knicks and look at the Pacers. But we'll get to that in a little bit. We will get to that in a little bit. So, my man Sideshow says, going back to the mile high with tired legs, not a good thing for Minnesota. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. So, but we're going to move on. We're going to move on. Again, as always, man, I appreciate everybody showing up. Again, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time. Big B Daily is live. If you are on a certain platform, which I'm looking directly at you right now, please click on the live link in the bio. Come on over to the other side, and you will not get frozen up. So remember to do that. Remember to do that. So my man Ruben, look what my man Ruben says. Aaron Gordon looking like Diamond CJ McCollum. I mean, Aaron Gordon didn't miss a shot till what, the fourth quarter? I think by that time, what was he, like 11 for 11? Something crazy? Yeah, Aaron Gordon had a game. Aaron Gordon had a game. You know, he had a game. And again, he went along with Jokic. Somebody's got to do something for Minnesota. Somebody else. Somebody. You can't just depend on Denver just missing a whole bunch of shots like they did the first two games. You can't depend on that. You got to force some stuff. So we'll see. We will see. Let's move on. So the Atlanta Hawks, for the first time since 1975, when they selected David Thompson, have the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. They won the lottery. The poor Detroit Pistons. Lord have mercy. If you think, here's the thing. I am not a conspiracy theorist person. That's not me. But if you do believe that the lottery, the NBA lottery, if you believe that it's fixed, then you have to believe that the league doesn't want Detroit to be any good. How they got 5th is beyond me. First of all, I thought they were guaranteed a top 3 spot with that kind of a record, but they are not. And maybe this is one of those years where the league says, hey, to keep people from thinking that this thing is rigged, we got to put the team with the worst record, we got to put them at 5. Lord have mercy. But Atlanta, who is a play-in team, they end up getting the number 1 pick. Now, the problem is that the number 1 pick, this is one of the worst drafts in recent memory. I mean, one of the worst drafts. They're talking about the number 1 guy being Alex, and we'll just call him Alex because I think it's Alexandre Sarr, but we'll just say Alex, out of France. First of all, what the hell's in the water over in France? You got all of these 7'1" guys over there playing basketball. Last time I checked, they love soccer. But either way, he is the number 1 pick, supposed number 1 pick, as of right now. That's who they're talking about. 7'1", 216, center. I mean, he makes Wemby looks like olive oil. You know, Wemby out there, 7'4", 110 pounds, soaking wet. This guy makes Wemby look like olive oil out there at 216. Yeah, I mean, not talking about 250, 280, 216. Lord have mercy. But the Atlanta Hawks win the lottery, man. The odds, I think they were the third lowest to ever win the lottery. Third lowest odds to ever win the lottery. Good for Atlanta. I think Atlanta is going to make a trade this offseason. I think Trae Young's days in Atlanta are probably numbered. I don't know why, though. It's like the guy averages, 26 and 11 this year? I mean, you can't use that guy on your team for some reason? I'm not saying he's the world's greatest point guard. I'm just saying a guy averaging 26 and 11 is pretty good. That's pretty good. But I don't know. Maybe they've decided, hey, we can't win a title with this guy. We got to move on. I don't know where you go. I don't know what you do. But we'll see. We will see. I think it'll be interesting. But yeah, man, they win the lottery. Ooh. My man Ruben says they messed up not building around the number one pick. I don't know what the association is doing. Who are you talking about, man? Who are you talking about didn't build around the number one pick? And Detroit, speaking of Detroit, they're still cursed from Carmelo Anthony. They still dealing with the Carmelo Anthony. Not picking Carmelo. So, the Hawks, my man Ruben. I mean, the Hawks are still kicking themselves in the head for trading Luka. If y'all remember correctly, Luka and Trae Young came out the same year and they traded. So they're still kicking themselves for that. Ugh. They traded the picks, gave up, and didn't take Luka, took Trae Young, and this is where you are. So there's always that. Ugh. That's brutal. That is definitely brutal. So, but man, we're going to get into the Q&A section of this today. We are going to move on and get into the Q&A section. Bring your questions, bring your statements, whatever you got. We'll start firing them off and we'll start answering all of them. The first thing is, I'm going to go down here and say this, is that, fix this over here, is that let's look at the Pacers-Knicks series. Let's take a look at that. So, the Pacers and the Knicks. That series is ugly. And the reason I say it's ugly, I think the Knicks are out of gas. I think that Tom Thibodeau has finally run his starters into the ground. Number one, when you play your starters all that time, you're not doing a whole lot of coaching. You're not having to make adjustments. You're not having to do this. I don't like the look. I'm like, come on, man, what are we doing? They got to figure some stuff out. Because I personally, I think the Knicks are out of gas. I think they lose game 6, or they lose game 5 and they lose game 6. I think the series may just be over. Now, would I be surprised if they win it? No. Well, no. Of course I wouldn't. But we'll see. We will see. I just got a feeling that the Pacers are going to end up winning this series. You know, because if you're being realistic, the Pacers should have won at least one of those games in New York. They should have won at least one of those games. But they didn't. Give the Knicks credit. But if we're being realistic, they should have won at least one of those games in New York. And now here we are. So, but yeah, what questions you all got, man? What statements, what questions that you got? So, my man Ryan Krause. When are teams going to learn that the lottery is tank-proof? They should give the best picks to the teams that barely miss the playoffs. Well, you can't do that if you're wanting parity, because the NFL doesn't do that. The NFL gives it to the worst teams. And parity works in the NFL. It works. The draft and how it's done, they don't have a lottery. So you could say teams tank for a certain player, okay. But what the NFL, it works because your team can be terrible. 2 years later, you could be in the Super Bowl. We've seen it. We've seen it. You just got to have the right pieces in place. You got to, not only do you have to have the right pieces in place, you also have to have the right players or the right general manager, the right, executives that are putting those pieces together. You got to have some guys with a little bit of foresight that can understand what's going on. You need all of that. You need all of that. So I don't know, Ryan, if that's necessarily the case, because then there's never any parity. There's never any parity. So I don't think that's necessarily. I get the concept on what you're saying, though. I do. But I think the NFL loves their model because, look, if you're last, we don't want you to be last for long. We want you to get it together and figure this thing out, and we're going to help you do it by giving you the top pick. So we'll see. We'll see. The difference is in basketball where these teams, we saw San Antonio do it. We saw Philadelphia do it. We've seen Detroit do it. I think it's because there's so many games. And then you look at their overall record and you're like, there's no way a professional basketball team can be this bad. That you can win 14 games in a regular season out of 82. How are you this bad? And I think that's what people look at. Where in football, yeah, you might go, oh, even when Detroit was losing every game, teams were like, yeah, they're bad, but they were pretty good the very next year. That's the thing. So while you can stink, you can get good quickly. And it's only 16, now it's 17 games. Where in the NBA, it's 82. Out of 82 games, you can only win 14? You're terrible. What is going on? And I think that's why people look at it differently. Because it's not like teams in the NFL haven't tanked. They have. They have. So, but that's where the difference is. That is where the difference is. So, talking about this in NBA and NBA, the MVP voting, have we seen what that actually looks like? And is anybody really mad that Jokic won? But would have anybody been upset if SGA won? Would anybody have been upset if Luka won? Like, where is the all this talk of, well, I think Luka, like you're not hearing a bunch of static coming back. A lot of it's SGA. Well, look at did anybody pay attention to what Luka's numbers were? I mean, he's got just as good an argument as anybody to have won the MVP this year. Just as good as anybody. So take that into consideration. You know, when everybody's just saying, well, it should have went to SGA, it could have went to Luka too. And by the numbers, you wouldn't have been wrong. You would not have been wrong. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You know, Luka did his thing. There's no doubt about it. SGA did his thing. Jokic did his thing. I just thought it was a 3-person race, and they gave it to Jokic. It is what it is. It is what it is. What else y'all got out there, man? NFL news. There's not a whole lot going on in NFL right now. Rookie mini camp. There's not a ton going on right now. So, not a lot that I see that's going on with the NFL. Let's see. Pat Cockrell, my man Pat. In my opinion, it should have went to SGA or Luka, both over Jokic. But oh well. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. You know, some people tried to say, well, SGA's team had a better year. And I'm like, well, hold on. They had the same record. And I go, they have the same record. They just had a better division record. That's why they had number one. They were number one. So we'll see. Yeah, I'll get that. I'm looking at something here. What do we got? Next year, I'll put $10 on every team the Pistons play against. Every single game. Let's see how much I make after the season. That's not horrible, Jason. My man Jason Parker says that's not a horrible idea. That's not a horrible idea. Take the money line on whoever they're playing and let it ride. You'd have made some big money this year. You'd have made some money this year. Now, saying that, maybe you wouldn't have had made big money because I'm going to bet that the money line probably didn't pay out that much. You know what I'm saying? For the Pistons. It probably didn't pay that much. So maybe not make big money. So maybe not the money line. Just take the spread and let it ride. Let it ride. My man Pat Cockrell says the Cowboys are plotting their next Super Bowl victory. I love it. I love it. So, the Chiefs and the Ravens are going to start off the season on opening night. That just came out. They're going to play on that Thursday night in Arrowhead. Don't be surprised if the Ravens don't blow the Chiefs out that night. Do not be surprised if the Ravens don't blow the doors off the Chiefs that night. Ravens are going to want some get back. The Chiefs are going to have a little bit of Super Bowl fatigue. It'll happen. Do not be. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to happen. I'm just saying don't be surprised if the Ravens don't blow the doors off the Chiefs that night. You know how good the Ravens are in the regular season. They're going to want to come out and prove that that was a fluke. Just don't be surprised if they don't get the doors blown. And then everybody will say the same thing. The Chiefs, they're not any good. The season's down the drain. Pat Mahomes, he's lost it. He's not that good anymore. And we'll have to hear all this nonsense all year long just for the Chiefs to get to the AFC Championship game again. But this time they'll end up losing. Why? Because the Pittsburgh Steelers will be going to the Super Bowl in 2024, people. Mark it down. The Pittsburgh Steelers, led by Russell Wilson, going to the Super Bowl. Don't be mad. Don't be upset. It's happening. It is happening. The Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl. That's what's happening. Now, I know y'all are out there. You're going to start hating. Except for my man Steelers Almighty. They're not doing any hating. They see it. They get it. They get it. But the old Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, look, Ruben, my man Ruben, is a San Francisco 49ers fan, and I think he's come to the conclusion that he knows his team can't win. He knows no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, they ain't winning the Super Bowl. And you know it, Ruben. I'm sorry. They're good enough to get there. We get into the big game, cannot make it happen. Can't make it happen. But I'm calling it now. Actually, I'm not calling it. That's what I'm rooting for right now. This is the offseason. This is May. This is May, people. Every team's got to say they're going to win the Super Bowl. Even if you're a Patriots fan, you got to say you're going to win the Super Bowl. Everybody's got to say it. So, everybody's got to say it. I love it. I love it. So, Ruben, you're a Texans fan? I thought you were a 49ers fan. Texans ain't winning it either. They can't beat the Steelers. Nobody can beat the Steelers this year. Nobody can beat us. When you've got Russell Wilson as your starting quarterback in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform, Lord have mercy. Now, first of all, I'm going to stop saying that because I'm going to start losing a little bit of credibility. Y'all going to start dipping out of here, so I apologize. I'm just saying, I'm excited. I can't wait for football season to get here. That's my thing. I can't wait for football season to actually get here. I'm ready. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready. It's May. It's crazy, but I'm just waiting for the season to get here. Give me the mini camp. Let's get some mini camps underway. I know there's been rookie mini camps. Let's get the mini camp. And let's see what's going on. and see what's going on. So I got the double screen up here. Hopefully, let me try to get that off. But let's see here. My man Capone is a Browns fan. Oh, here we go. Browns fan his whole life. And I understand being a Browns fan is tough. And I get it. I get it. The Browns should be better. I admit the Browns should be better. But I'm sorry, Capone. The Browns are going to brown. You know it. I know it. The Browns are going to brown. That's just what's going to happen. That's just what's going to happen. I would say at some point they got to have a breakthrough, but do we have to say that? I mean, do we have to? And I love making fun of Browns fans because all they ever tell me, oh, you're living in the past. That's all Steelers got is living in the past. I'm like, well, in your lifetime, have the Browns even been good since you've been living? Like literally since you've been living. When were they good? Telling me that I'm living in the past. You don't even have a past. Like in your whole life, they've never been good. Your whole life. Now, you can go back to the 40s and 50s if you want, and the Browns were really good. But your grandparents weren't even born then. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Evening, Christmas. Lord have mercy, people. Lord have mercy. Look here, Ryan Krause. Don't make me do it, man. He's saying Russell Wilson has already thrown 5 interceptions. Don't do that. Don't. First of all, people are tripping on Russell Wilson. They act like he had this horrible year last year. No, he didn't. He didn't have, I'm not saying it was great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it was great. But to act like it was just horrible, it wasn't horrible. Not to mention his coach didn't want him. It's tough to play when your coach doesn't want you. And ownership is telling you, hey, man, you need to take a pay cut right now or we're going to bench you. Tough. So, my man Austin, to be fair, QB is one of the weakest links of the Steelers team. If Wilson or Fields step up, it's another winning season and playoffs. Yeah, but Austin, I don't want a winning season. I'm done with saying, oh, we're 9-8 and making the playoffs and then getting beat in the first round. I don't want that. I don't care about that. I want to win playoff games. I'm not saying we got to win the Super Bowl, but it would be nice to be in a conversation that says we could possibly win it. We won a playoff game. Let's do something. We got a chance to win something. So that's what it would be nice to do. That's what it would be nice to do. So, but other than that, you're right. I don't even know if you could say that quarterback is the Steelers' weakest link. Because look at the quarterback room is so much better this year than it was last year. And the Steelers still won. The weakest link right now is corner and maybe number 2 wide receiver. Quarterback is not the weakest link on the team right now. Speaking of that, everybody make sure that you go subscribe wherever you watch podcasts and all that. Wherever you go subscribe, remember to go and subscribe like Steelers Almighty. Even if you hate the Steelers, which a few of you do, it's good content. You'd like it. So you would like it. You would like it. But yeah. See, there's somebody who gets it. Russell Wilson wasn't horrible last year. He wasn't. You know, the Broncos were bad. I mean, Russell Wilson didn't have anything to do with giving up 70 points in a football game. So, but oh well. Oh well. Look at Ex Capone. He's a brand. That's why me and him get along. We don't agree on everything, but he gets it. He's a Browns fan. He's my age. Never seen a season I can be proud of. Now, hold on. In the late 80s or the mid 80s, the year that they lost to to Elway back-to-back seasons to go to the Super Bowl. They were good those 2 years. Bernie Kosar, Ernest Biner fumbling into the end zone. All he had to do was fall down, and the Browns win the game. Instead, he fumbles into the end zone. Lord have mercy. But we'll see. We'll see. The Browns should be better than what they are. The Browns should be better than what they are. They got to be better. They got to be. I mean, they're only paying a quarterback, $250 million of guaranteed money. It's you got to be good, and they better be good this year, because if they're not good this year, when all this money comes up and they got to start cutting players, Lord have mercy. But we'll figure it out. Hopefully they can figure it out. Hopefully they can figure it out. What else do we got, people? The Browns will be better. I hope. I miss the old Watson. I mean, I hope. I mean, the Browns can't be that bad. They got to figure it out. So they got to figure it out. First of all, somebody tried to argue with me. Now, you all chime in on this. Somebody tried to argue with me and was being dead serious. Told me I did the whole online, you don't know ball. That's what the young people always say. You don't know ball. Told me that the AFC North was not the best division in football. And I said, did you watch the NFL last year? Because if you watched, there's no way that you can say that being honest. It's impossible. It's impossible for you to say that, being honest. Every team had a winning record, even the Bengals. 3 of them made the playoffs, and if the Bengals hadn't lost one of those games, they would have made the playoffs. So every team would have made the playoffs. They were a game out of making it. And you're telling me that the AFC North wasn't the best division in football? It wasn't even close. It literally wasn't close. Oh, my goodness. And it was somebody on TikTok, of course, just screaming at me, you don't know ball. Cincinnati stinks. The Steelers were terrible. The Browns were overrated. So were the Ravens. I'm like, well, one of the teams won the division, had the best record in football. They lost in the AFC Championship game. Another team won 11 football games. They made the playoffs, but they couldn't win the division because they were in a team that won 13. And then the other team won 10 football games, playing 3 different quarterbacks, and they all sucked, by the way. I guess Mason Rudolph was okay. But you're trying to tell me that the AFC North wasn't the best? Lord have mercy. Woo! Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. And looking at the Steelers' record or their schedule this year with what they have coming, but the Steelers can win 11 games this year. I think the minimum they win is 9. And everybody in the division got better. The Steelers, the Browns, the Bengals, the Ravens, all 4 teams got better. All of them. So, all of them got better. Look at my man, Pat Cockrell. I love him. Come on, B. We all know the best division in football is the NFC East. See? Hey, he's a Cowboys fan. Don't get on him. He's only kidding, people. He's only kidding. My man, Pat Cockrell, is that guy. He shows up every day. We love him. But he's only kidding. He's only kidding. Don't get on him. Don't get on him. So, now my man Ruben might be on something. Yeah, I think so too. Or the NFC West. Arizona Cardinals stink. So, no. I would think that the NFC North would be second. Because Minnesota is good. Well, first off, Detroit is the best. Minnesota is good. Green Bay might be the best team out of all of them. So we'll see. And the Bears are really good. I shouldn't say really good. I think the Bears are going to be better. I know there's people out there, Caleb Williams, he can't play football. Yeah, he can play football. Yes, he's going to throw some interceptions. Yes, he's going to make some rookie mistakes. All of that is going to happen. It doesn't mean that he can't play. It just literally doesn't mean that. So, it's crazy. But yeah, I think that's the best division in football. I can't wait till Wednesday. Thursday show, people. We might just dedicate the entire Thursday show to breaking down the schedule. We might just dedicate the whole show to breaking down the NFL schedule. Now, there'll be some playoff stuff, in NBA playoff stuff that we'll probably have to cover. There's probably going to be some of that. But we may just take the show, depending on what's going on with the NBA playoffs. And I know you just like I am starving for some football. When they come out with the schedule, we just might make the whole show. It depends. Depends on what's going on in the NBA. Either way, we're going to be talking about the NFL schedule a ton on Thursday. Comes out on Wednesday. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. So, we will see. We will see. My man X Capone talking about his Browns. Who replaces playoff QB with Deshaun Watson? That was not smart, in my opinion. I mean, you're not going to have Deshaun Watson making all that kind of money being the second string quarterback. You're just not. Now, I think they could have kept Flacco on the team, but even then, if you keep Flacco on the team, the first time Watson throws an interception, the fans are going to be screaming for him to come into the game. You can't have that. The fans are screaming it. Who knows? Maybe even players are screaming it. So you got to get him off the team unless you're going to make him the starter, which means you have to trade Watson away. Well, nobody in the NFL is going to trade for Deshaun Watson's contract. There's nobody doing that. So the Browns are just kind of stuck. You just got to hope that Watson plays well. Got to hope that Watson plays well. So let's see. My man Austin here. What do we got? Yeah. One thing all the AFC rivals can agree on, the division is so disrespected. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Patriot, holy mackerel. The Patriots winning it all this year. You heard it here first. You know what? I'm not even mad at you. I'm not even mad at you. My man's name is Houses of the Holy, the True Zeppelin Experience. I love the name. I love the confidence in the Patriots. Other than the Patriots are probably going to have the first pick in the draft because they're going to be terrible. But other than that, I love it. I love it. So, I love it. Thanks for the gift, B. Miller. We appreciate it, man. My man Rome thinks Russell Wilson can play really good for the Steelers. Yeah, buddy. Now we're starting to cook. Now you guys are starting to cook and getting on that Russell Wilson train, baby. Now we're starting to cook. So, the Ravens got better? Yeah, the Ravens got better, man. The Ravens got better. I know they lost some pieces and some key pieces certain places, but did you see the Ravens draft? If you saw the Ravens draft, then you know the Ravens got better. The Ravens got better. They did. They did. As much as I hate to say it, trust me, I hate to say it, the Ravens got better. So they may not win 13 games because they're going to be playing a number one schedule, but they got better. So somebody's out to lose some money. He said, I got $5,000 on the Patriots this year to hit for $482,000. Yeah, but you're going to lose that $5,000. You might as well just give the $5,000 to me. Come on, man. You might as well just give that money to me. I could have had a nice vacation. You could have thrown that $5,000 in the super chats, bro. Come on, man. Don't give Vegas, don't give these betting sites your money. That $5,000. You could have the Goon Squad could have used that $5,000. We could have had a big draft night party, a fantasy football draft night party for that $5,000. Everybody meet up in Vegas. We could have rented out one of them sports betting rooms. We could have had a ball in Vegas with that 5K, man. Come on, man. Don't do that. Next time you think about doing that, just say, hey, man, hey, Big B, I'm giving 5K as a super chat to the Goon Squad. Let's go meet up in Vegas and have a party. Just do that next time. Don't give them that your money, your hard-earned money. Because I'm telling you right now, that's not happening. Drake May throwing for 45 touchdowns. We got somebody drunk in the chat early this morning, people. I love it. I love it. Somebody, 4,500 yards if he's named the starter in camp. It's too early to be drinking like this, but I love the confidence, man. I love the confidence. Hey, rep your squad. Rep your squad no matter what. Rep your squad. So, the Patriots, go ahead. The best team in the best division. It's a good question. I mean, I think the Ravens are probably still the best team. The Bengals are going to be better. The Browns and the Steelers. I think the Steelers make a bigger jump than anybody, though. Because with competent quarterback play, the Steelers should have won 12 games last year. Yeah, I mean, they shouldn't have lost to the Patriots. They shouldn't have lost to the Cardinals at home. With competent quarterback play, the Steelers should have won 12, but they were playing freaking Mitchell Trubisky, who stinks. How he even has a job in the NFL, I have no idea. I mean, you're telling me that he's a backup somewhere. How? Why? That's how bad the quarterback play is. I remember I was screaming. I was like, why don't the Steelers sign Jameis Winston last year? Like, why don't we get him? Why would we sign Mitchell Trubisky? He's terrible. He is terrible. So, oh well. My man Braden says that the Joe Burrow hand surgery is a bigger deal than we think. Yeah, it might be that you're starting to hear some reports, but he threw the ball the other day, seemed fine, but we'll see. We will see. Yeah, man, I can't. I have basketball fatigue. And it's not the NBA. Well, it is the NBA's fault. It's not that I don't like the NBA. I like the NBA. I like basketball. But when you sit back and you think about it, basketball's been going on since October, man. Since October, the middle of October, not the end. So you got October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Well, we're 8 months in and we got another month to go. Come on. Come on. It's too long. The season is just too long for me. Like I said, I love basketball. I love the NBA. Now, I love football, college basketball, and NFL. I love that much more than I love the NBA, I'll admit. But I love the NBA. So, I do. But what are we talking about? 9 months? Come on. It's too long. It's just too long. I've got basketball fatigue. I am ready for the season to be over with. The problem with that is then we go into the dead period. We go into, once June hits and the NBA finals are over, then we go to the dead period. And then what do? Football's a month and a half away. You can get excited for training camp and you can follow it. But then what do? Our saving grace this year, though, we got the Olympics. And I'm telling you, I'm all in on the Olympics, people. I'm all in on the Olympics. I love it. Yeah, not so much the Winter Olympics, but the Summer Olympics, I am all in. I like all of it. Give me the race walking. Give me the water polo. Give me all of it. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have some fun this summer, people, with the Olympics. We're going to have some fun. So remember, keep showing up. Keep showing up. Because, yeah, we're going to have some fun when the Olympics get here with that crazy water polo. Crazy. See, now we got people like this. We got this. You know, I'm here for the noodling. Somehow I'm going to have to ban some people from joining the chat. We're going to have to ban some people from joining the chat. This Darren Howard guy, I don't know who he is, but he's crazy. Pat Cockrell says we got baseball. Look, first of all, y'all know my feelings on summer baseball. I can't do it. I could probably stomach it a little bit if my team wasn't out of it by Memorial Day. But since they were, the old Mets, I'm done. I'm done. So when you follow a team that's been out of it or that's going to be out of it by Memorial Day, what exactly do I have to look forward to? Nothing. So, but yeah, man, I'm in on the Olympics. I am in on the Olympics. So we're going to shut this one down for today, man. I appreciate everybody that came in today. Thank you guys as always. Again, 9 a.m. Central Time. 9 a.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. I appreciate everybody that showed up, showed out. We will be back with another Big B Daily Show tomorrow. Again, if you're on one certain platform and you keep getting stuck and it keeps getting frozen, just do yourself a favor, man. Click the link in the bio. Make sure you come over to the other side, to the other platform. And remember, hit like and subscribe and always show up, because eventually, and it's getting here very soon, the only responses that you're going to get is going to be from this platform on this side. So, and we're getting there. We're by the day. So just want to make sure everybody's aware of that you can always, where you can find us. So I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Aloha. I can't.